Hello friends, welcome! Today we have some super fun folds. This is Patty Bennett and today is Friday, July 21st. We are going to be making triple fun fold cards. So if you are joining me live, you are probably seeing the little red live button up at the top. That means you have found me live. But just for those who are watching a recording later, please feel free to skip ahead because I am logging on a minute early just to give everyone a chance to find this live and to make sure that I'm on the right page, that everything looks clear, all the good things. So, oh, sorry, I think I just bumped the camera. Sorry, let me make that stop moving. Okay, sorry about that. Didn't mean to do that. So, hope everyone is doing well. If you're joining live, please say hello, and I will say hi back. All the good things. Hi, good morning. I see Polly and Holly. Oh, that's fun. Polly and Holly. I like that. That's fun. Hi, Debbie. Oh, Vermont is raining. Okay. Yeah, we kind of had that and then the rain has all gone away. So we are pretty dry and warm here this week. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Sorry, I know the camera's moving. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get it a little bit in better position here. I am so sorry. Just bear with me just one second. I bumped the stand and then of course that just puts everything out of whack and I'm really sorry. I hope that's settled down. So sorry about that. Okay. You know, this is so weird. I am just bear with me a second. I am seeing just some really weird black. Oh, I know what it is. I think I know what it is. Sorry, I was seeing some really weird black shadow, and I think I've just fixed it. So sorry about that. Yeah, I fixed it. Okay, I was trying to figure out what it was, and it just figured it out. So, hello, Hope. Oh, I'm glad you're excited about this. These are such fun cards. We are going to just get into it and make one together. I'm going to show you all the measurements, and I think you're going to love this card design. So let me just catch up. I see Linda and Randy, Deb, Jean, Debbie. Is it Seal? I've never seen that name. That's beautiful. Welcome. Judy, Diane, Jamie. Hi, Jamie. Hey, Esther and Wanda. Hi, Judy. Hello, Anne. Hello, everyone. All righty. So I'm sorry to bore you with all the moving of the camera bits, but I think we've got it in place now. Hi, Kathy. Welcome. Hi, Jen. Hello, Brenda. Thanks for sharing. Hi, Lynn. All right, so let's get started. My name is Patty Bennett, and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. I blog at pattystamps.com. You know, I really should someday figure out exactly how many years. I think I started in 2006. So however many, is that 17 years? That's how long I've been blogging. That's pretty crazy, right? But I love to create Stampin' Up projects and then share them with you. And this particular card is really fun. I think this is kind of where it all started. This one was made by Sharon Lim. She is a member of my Love to Stamp group team, which in Stampin' Up world we call our downline. So she has been a demonstrator for 20 years in my team, and she gave me this card many, many months ago. I don't know, maybe even a year ago now. And I just couldn't stop opening and closing it. And I just thought this was just one of the cutest things I'd ever seen. Isn't this fun? You'll remember this paper probably from Celebration some time ago. I think it was in 2022, I believe. And she had made this card. And so I was determined to make some cards like this. So I wanted to show you, I finally got around to making one. And I'm kind of covering up. This was a note to my hubby, but This is one that I made for my husband for our 37th wedding anniversary, which was last month. And same design, but it's horizontal instead of a vertical pull out. And then I happened to receive another one of the same design, again horizontal instead of vertical. And this one was from Sandy Hancock, and she was congratulating me on earning the Stampin' Up incentive trip. So then I decided, I had in my mind that I really wanted to make this design, but make it with the Les Shops designer paper. So I made a vertical one that pulls up this way. Isn't this so cute? Adorable. And then I made a horizontal one that goes this way. So I'm going to show you all the parts, the dimensions, how to cut the paper, how to put it together, how to score the base card, all the things, and explain why this one is my favorite paper. Thank you. Tammy says adorable. I think I'm missing some comments over here. Oh, thanks, Marcella. She's happy to find me live. That's awesome. Thank you, Polly and Carol, Stacy. Thank you, everybody. I'm so glad you like these. Oh, so by the way, if you're looking for the photos of these cards, check tomorrow. So July 22nd, pattystamps.com. The cards will be there if you like to pin them to your Pinterest board, print them out, save them, whatever. The dimensions for cutting and scoring will also be there. The supplies will be there if you need to place an online order. And if you want to see the supplies ahead of time, I do have them already on my blog today. So July 21st, the supplies are there. You can click on those and place your order if you wanted to get going on something and hadn't had a chance to purchase any of those things yet. So again, here's the difference. It's the exact same base card. You can make it vertical or you can make it horizontal. And I think that's a really cool thing about this fun fold design. Sharon, who I mentioned in the beginning, that gave me this one, she called it a triple fun fold. So that's what I'm calling it on my blog, triple fun fold. And let's put them over so you can see. So really it's the exact same thing. See? But it just depends which way you orient your designs, your stamps, your paper, whatever you're doing. That's what makes the difference of vertical or horizontal. Isn't that fun? I love it when it's so versatile and you could kind of do whatever. Wendy said, oh, sorry, she's a little late. No problem. We're like just getting started. I'm just going to start with the dimensions and showing you how to make this. No problem. Holly loves the vertical. Great. Yeah, I like them both. I think it's really fun. The reason that I made this one, I did this one first, was that, do you remember in June, Sarah Douglas, CEO of Stampin' Up, she came here to our Bay Area team event, and she had done a live where she used this paper, and she said she was envisioning like this really tall building where you could stack buildings. And so I made her a slimline card with all of these little buildings that are stacked up. But then I still had this in my mind, and I thought this was so cute. And not that they're necessarily supposed to be stacked on each other, but it's that idea. So this paper, if you're thinking, well, those are cute buildings, but where did it come from? Here are some of the pieces. You can see I've been cutting out the buildings out of these pieces. There are several sheets in the pack of Les Shops paper that have these buildings that you can cut out, and they're super easy to cut with your paper snips. Of course, you could use a paper trimmer for the straighter edges, but really, these are easy to cut out. If you can cut a straight line or a rectangle, they're not hard to cut. And what I did was just, you know me, make a ton, right? So I just cut out a whole bunch so that as I am assembling my cards, I can decide what do I want it to look like, what pieces do I want. I cut out So here's a tip. Sometimes on your designer paper, like here's a good example right at the bottom right here. Right here, was the second story of this building, but it gets cut off. So don't throw that away. I went ahead and cut out partial things like this piece. So see, you could, well, maybe not on that one, but you could stack it on top of other pieces if you just have a partial. So that's kind of a fun tip for you. So don't throw away the little bits that are around the edges. So that's the paper. And let's go ahead and make the base. Oops, I forgot to look at comments. Oh, thank you, Deborah. Oh, no. Susan said, what a relief. I thought you colored them. So there is a stamp set that has some of these images. You can, if you prefer, you can stamp, color, and die cut some of these buildings, not all of them. But if you prefer, you could do that. And I just thought, you know, I think I'm just going to use the paper and cut them out. It's kind of like paper dolls for those of us from the 60s and 70s who loved paper dolls. It's kind of that therapy, if you ask me. Yes, it is a fun fold, isn't it? Oh, and I did want to say, I have an envelope out here just to remind myself to tell you that when you fold these up, they do fit in a regular envelope because they fold up to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Because I knew at least 5 or 10 people would ask that after the live was done. So I just wanted to, you know, like head off any questions and let you know that even though it starts as a half sheet of paper, the way that it's scored and folded, it will fit right into your envelope and you can just mail it. So no worries on that. Okay, let's score and fold. I personally kind of like using my Simply Scored board for this. You can 100% just use your paper trimmer with the scoring blade. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So whatever you're more comfortable with, whatever you think you might like to use is totally fine. These dimensions are going to be on my blog tomorrow. So I have the dimensions for the pieces of cardstock as well as designer paper, how you layer them together, and then the cutting and scoring dimensions for the piece that I'm going to show you. So don't worry about trying to memorize or write it down. Those are all there for you. What I kind of like to do is to be able to make 2 at once. So this is thick basic white, and I'm just going to score. So it's going to get cut in half this way. But if you score the whole thing first and then cut it, you've got 2 card bases ready to go. So I'll say that again. I know I talked really fast. If you start with the whole sheet, you score the 4 score marks, and then you cut it in half, you will have 2 card bases. That's how my brain works. That's what I like to do. It's less time fiddling back and forth with pieces of paper. So your end result will be 4 1/4 by 11, half of this sheet. It's scored at 2 1/2, 3 3/4, 6 3/4, and 8 1/4. Again, it will be on my blog tomorrow, so don't worry about writing it all down. So 2 1/2, 3 3/4, 6 3/4, and 8 1/4. And a little tip, if you decide you're going to make lots of these, get all of your little markers that come with the Simply Scored and put them in at those 4 spots of where to score. And then you don't even have to think. You don't have to look at the measurements. You can just look at the pointers and you can just score. I'm just making this one, so I didn't bother to do that. But so there we go. There's our scoring. Oh, and people often ask on the stylus, which end should I use? The bigger tip? Can you see here? One has a bigger ball and one has a smaller ball at the tip. And really, it doesn't matter. If you wanted a more defined, maybe deeper score, you can use the smaller one. I tend to use the larger one because I have a heavier hand and I don't want to risk cutting right through the paper with the small one. I definitely do not use the small one on designer paper because with my heavy-handedness, I will cut right through the paper. So really it's up to you. Really doesn't matter. So then once you have it all scored, then you're just going to put it in your trimmer at 4 1/4 and cut. And now you have 2 card bases that you've scored all at once. If that is confusing, then don't worry about it. Just do one at a time. Cut your paper at this size and do your scoring. You don't have to do it the way I did it. I just kind of like that efficiency. Is that a good word? It seems efficient to me to do it like that. Hang on one second. This mat, I know I'm going to move the camera. I apologize in advance. This mat was wrinkled and it was kind of driving me crazy. And so I just had to straighten that out. Sorry. Okay, so now, can you see there is a smaller distance here and there's a larger distance here. If you can't see that once you get it scored, you can always get out a ruler and you'll notice that this 2 1/2 is smaller than this side over here. You want to start with the smaller end at the left. And this first fold is going to be a mountain, and then a valley, and then a mountain, and then a valley. So you have accordioned it like that. So smaller section to the left. First one is a mountain, valley, mountain, valley. Very easy. Nothing complicated. And I tell you, once you've made one, it's just like, wow, this is very simple. And that becomes your triple fun fold mechanism for either horizontal or vertical. And that's all there is to the base part, the base card. Easy, easy, easy. All right. Oh, Christine is using lace chops in her class. Yay! You know, I'll tell you a funny thing about that paper is that when this new catalog came out, and let me show it to you in the catalog in case you haven't seen it. When this catalog came out, and normally I buy all of the new designer papers, and I looked at this, it's on page 131, and I thought, I don't know, would I use that? I'm not sure. I don't know if I like it. And so I did not buy it. Can you believe that? And then once I saw the paper, a sample of the paper, I was like, oh yeah, this is totally, completely cute. So of course, then I had to buy it. But I'll tell you what sold me was this little piece right here that you can't even really see very well in the catalog. And I'll show it to you. And it is what I call the blueprint pattern. So here's a slice of it. Let's look at the whole sheet. This is what the whole sheet looks like. And to me, it looks like blueprints. So back a long time ago, decades ago, if you were talking about a blueprint in the construction industry, it looked like this. It was white on a blue background. It truly was a blueprint. Things changed over the years and they went to the print in blue on a white background. So that actually is a blue line, but this is like a true blueprint look. And I love this because if you've heard my story before, my father was an architect. And from the age of 5, I wanted to be an architect. And so anything that looks like this is really special to me. I love it. And I saw this and I thought, oh my gosh, I wish my father were still alive because I would be making him a card like so quick with this. I love this. And my first job in 1974 was blueprint girl at the architectural engineering office that he worked at. And I ran the blueprints in the blueprint machine. And if any of you have ever done that or been around a blueprint machine, it was done with ammonia. Ammonia was the thing that transferred the lines of the drawing onto the next sheet of paper and made the blueprint. And it was stinky. It was so awful. And of course, back then, nobody ever thought of like a mask or ventilation or oxygen. I'm surprised I'm here to tell the story. But anyway, so that was my first job in 1974. I was blueprint girl and I loved it. I also was Xerox girl and coffee girl, and I worked on the switchboard, like all those things. So anyway, just a little side note there. And I do have something fun to show you after we make this card, so stay tuned from my drafting days. But anyway, this is the piece of paper that we're going to use. I'm going to duplicate this horizontal one for you so that I can show you all the pieces that you need. Sorry, that was like a little side step there. So the pieces, you need 3 pieces of cardstock and 3 pieces of designer series paper. If you want to make it like this, where the cardstock, in this case, you can see it's blueberry bushel, the cardstock frames each piece of designer paper. So if you want to make it look like this, then this is what you're going to need. So the cardstock, 4x4, 3.5x4, and 2.5x4. Okay, so we have a 4x4, a 3.5x4, and a 2.5x4. That's our cardstock. And then the pieces of designer paper that just nestle right on side, or on side, is that a word? On top, let's say it right, are just 1/4 of an inch smaller. Nothing complicated there. So those pieces are just cut 1/4 inch smaller. So a 3 3/4 inch square, 3 1/4 by 3 3/4, and 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. So I don't know. You don't really need to hear me like say all of those, right? Oops. You know what? This one, hang on one sec. I can see it needed to be 2 1/4. Let me just take. Oh, I bet I know why I didn't trim it, because I couldn't bear to cut off that cute little pot, and I was debating on which side to cut the 1/4 inch off. I just realized when I looked at it why it wasn't trimmed, because I didn't want to cut that cute little pot. So those are the pieces, and let's just go ahead and glue and assemble one of these. And I'll tell you just a little tip. Remember when we folded this up and I said you start with the smaller section on the left? It kind of fools my brain because the biggest square is on the left, but the smallest section of your base card is on the left. So I don't know why that was kind of, messing with my brain to think of that, but once you get it down, it's really not hard. So I'm first just going to glue all those layers. And I was thinking that these cards would be cute for my husband and son because they're both in the structural engineering field. And then most years I like to send in a birthday card for the 2 owners of the company, their bosses. And I was thinking that maybe this pattern would be fun to make cards for them. So it was just this piece cut down to 3 3/4 and then chopped into those 3 pieces. Let's see. Yes, exactly. A few of you are commenting that you had kind of passed over this paper at first as well. Yeah. Oh, Donna says she remembers the smell of the blueprint room. Yeah. Mimeograph. That was a very similar smell, Mary. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right. So then we'll just attach these. Oh, and here's another tip. I first started by putting the bigger piece on the left, just because my brain works left to right. But when you open it, this is kind of in the way. So it really is helpful if you start building with your smaller piece on the right first, and then you do your middle, and then you do this. Not, you know, you don't have to. I'm just saying it. I kind of learned by experience. So by doing these measurements like this, you can see that each little section kind of gets framed really nicely on there. Okay, now this one's going to go here, but let me hold it up so you can see this. Do you see how part of it's going to hang over? So just be mindful of that as you put your adhesive on. And just to be sure, I find it's a little better just to put my adhesive over here so that I don't accidentally have adhesive over on this part that hangs off. I know this maybe is sounding complicated because I'm giving you so many tips, but really I'm just trying to give you the tips that I learned so that you don't run into any problems. Same thing here. If you just do your adhesive on this section, then you don't have to worry about accidentally having adhesive on the part that overhangs. Okay, so there we go. That's it. Isn't that fun? How easy. I think it's just really super duper adorable. I love this so much. So if we look at this piece, I'll show you what I did to decorate. Let's start over here, just adding a tag, and I cut out this ice cream cone is actually in this paper on one of the pieces because I was making this a birthday card, and this is like a little sweet shop that has ice cream and candies and whatnot. So that's why I added that ice cream cone. And then on this one, I thought, remember that tip I gave you about using a piece that was over on the edge that was cut off? So I had that little piece that was cut off at the edge, and I thought, well, why not? I think that's kind of cute. So I did that, and I added a couple of the little pots. Those are also on this paper. And then this one, this little shop actually had more to it. It had a roof and whatnot, but I cut it down to fit on this die cut square, and look what I did. I I cut with scissors and just glued right there, and I scored it so that the little door would kind of open. And I know it's kind of silly because I probably should have cut that so that it was like you would be walking in, but oh well, I still think it's cute. I thought that was really fun. And stamped happy birthday and added those 2 ice cream cones. So let's just look in here and let's see what we might add to this one. This is a cute Chinese restaurant. That's a fun little piece. This one's a bookstore, a clothing store. Oh, here's a bakery. Now this piece is cut off. So this one could be maybe something that we add to the front right there or to this piece since it was... So there's the whole one, and that one was at the edge. So you can see I've just gone ahead and, you know, why not? We might use it. There's the little sweet shop, part of it. Again, it was cut off on the edge, so you have your options of using it as a full or a partial piece. I just love this little shop. It's an art store. Isn't it cute? Look at all the cute little art supplies. I think that's adorable. So I don't know. That one might be cute in there. Or maybe this should be for a book lover. Maybe this should be like a row of, look how cute. We could maybe put that on top. Make it a 2-story bookstore. Oh, I kind of like that. That would be adorable, wouldn't it? Oh, you know what? I'm going to do that because I'm going to show you a tip. Oh, and before I finish that, let me just show you something because I know I'm going to forget this. Please hold. Those will come right back and I'll show you. But I had asked my husband yesterday if he could find any of my old drawings in the garage, because I know we have some of them, and these are just little reproductions that are quarter size. And so this is just like, this was a home subdivision, so I did structural drawings for I think a total of 19 years. And so that was one thing. And then this one, I just can't even remember doing this. This was a huge PT slab of a huge building in San Francisco. Like, I don't even remember drawing all this. Look how complicated. With these are where all the tendons go, and the heights of where they drape so that they can tension these cables in the slab. Like, I just don't even remember this, but this is all me. This is my P. Bennett, and it's all my writing. And I just like, wow, I should really kind of study these. And it's amazing how your brain forgets. Like, this was 1990. Anyway, just wanted to show you those. So explains why I love the pieces of blueprint looking paper. So here's my tip. Here's what I want to show you. This is going to be fun. So on this one, see, I was going to layer this, but do you see how those little points of this roof are going to stick out? So the first thing I'm going to do is just snip these two off. Okay. And I'm going to put this one on the front, and I'm going to put this on top, but I'm going to do something fun on this little awning. So this piece, I'm just going to put straight down with glue. And I might do a little, like the cobblestone. See, this paper is also in the pack. I think I might do that underneath when we're done. I'll decide. But I thought that was kind of cute to sort of give this little shop a spot to sit. All right, now watch this fun tip. I am going to score. And here's a tip. If you have something small and you're trying to cut it or score it, put a little Post-it flag. Put it where you want it, and then hold it down with the Post-it flag so that it doesn't move around. I am going to score right there. I was just like, in my mind, that's the scoring blade, because I didn't want to cut it. Do you ever do that? Do you pause and second guess yourself? Because I want to be able to fold this and have this awning be kind of popped up a little bit with some extra dimension. So I am going to, oh, this is fun. I hope you don't mind me just thinking on the fly here and just creating something. But I am going to pop this whole thing up. And these, by the way, are the foam sheets. I love these rather than using a whole bunch of pieces of dimensionals. I like foam sheets. I just personally like those better to use. And then I'm going to cut 2 strips, because I'm going to double right here at the edge of that awning so that the awning pops up higher than the popped up roof section. And see how easy that was just to pull off 2 pieces of that instead of a whole bunch of dimensional pieces. So that's kind of why I like that. And then when we put this on, this part is raised, but this awning piece, can you see that? It's like double high. Isn't that cute? So it really pops up over the bookstore. I think that's super cute. I love that. Just thought of it. All right. Oh, I did. Well, actually, so this is similar. Let me use this to point. This piece, I glued that and I popped this piece up with one layer so that it would stick up. Isn't that cute? So it's got a little dimension. So I think I like this here because I like that color really flows, don't you think? So let's add that. Cuteness. And then, I don't know, I kind of feel like this needs to be the area to write. Kind of like that. So I don't know about a building over here. Just looking at my little container of buildings. Oh, good. Oh, you love the door. Thank you. Thanks. Jamie said she'll be making several of this fun fold. Thank you, everybody. Oh my gosh, I'm missing all the comments. Thank you. Oh, I'm glad you like the awning tip, Deb. Thank you. Oh, Anne, you're sweet. She says, I love hearing your creative process. I changed your mind. Thank you, T. Thanks, everybody. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I've been missing all your comments. I was so excited about crafting with all of this. Kind of wondering, that's so big over there. I don't know. I don't know if I want another piece on the right. I think not. I think, you know what I might do is maybe something like a die cut like this. And then it just leaves you a place to stamp or to write. I think I won't do an additional little building. I think I like that. And then that gives me the option to write or stamp whatever until I know who this is going to and what the occasion is. But just so I can show you, let's do that little strip of cobblestone at the bottom. And it's on the back of this piece where I showed you those ice cream cones. It's the back of that. So it's just a nice little design that you can make it kind of look like a roadway or a sidewalk. And it just helps ground. I'm trying to see how big I want it. It just kind of helps ground the buildings a little bit. And those need to be 4 inches. You could, I was just thinking, I suppose you really could sort of build these little scenes on the squares before you attach it to the card. But kind of the way my brain is thinking, oh, 3 3/4. Sorry, silly me, 3 3/4. The way my brain thinks is I kind of like to see it in place and then think about how do I want the scene to flow. But you could do it. I think it would work before you get this all glued. It's up to you. Or if you're making more than one, I would imagine by the time you kind of get a couple of them done, your brain would already be thinking how you want it to be. Oh, and that one's okay. I should stop talking. I forgot they're not all the same size. Silly me. So this one, the DSP is 3 1/4. Oh well. Lest you think I always have my act completely together. I have just shown you otherwise, right? All right. So see how cute? Doesn't that just really help kind of ground it? Like it makes it a little bit more of a scene to put that cobblestone. Then I'll show you a tip. So we have that little piece. I want to look for the pots with the greenery. I'm going to show you a tip that I did. Let me grab some scrap paper. So I grabbed my blends and let me think. Excuse my reach. I think I used a light copper clay and this one, which is 800. And then I used, you can use any red. I think I used Sweet Sorbet or Poppy Parade or whatever. So one thing I did to make these look a little different is I just took my marker and I gave one of them some little flowers, shall we say. And then I colored on the pot. I obviously have a little bit of glue on my fingertip there. With light copper clay, and then just sort of blended that out with that marker so that these looked different, because if I want to use both of them, I didn't want them to look identical. And I think I'll just give this just a little bit of extra shadow there. So don't forget, you can always color on designer series paper. So if we should pop one up, shouldn't we? Where are my mini dimensionals? I have got literally 12 sheets of regular dimensionals over here. And I can't see any mini dimensionals. So, you know what? It's okay. We'll use the black mini dimensionals. It's not going to hurt anything. So let's pop these up. And we'll put a pot over here and a pot over there. And then this little sign is also in that paper. And so I just fussy cut that, and we can just add a little glue right here and have that add to the scene as well. There, so cute. Look at that. And I promise whoever gets this is going to do this at least 10 times, right? So fun, so cute. So let's bring back this other one, the vertical version. Isn't that fun? I love it. I love these. And here's the other blueprint one that I previously made with the ice cream and the birthday. And then if you missed the beginning, oh, I was going to show you this too. I have like a ton of drafting supplies in my craft room because I use triangles for a lot of straight lines, or this one. I love this one. I've had this for like decades. This is an adjustable one that you can adjust to any angle. And I use them to line up paper in my paper cutter. And I don't know, I have drafting stuff all over the place. My husband and I both have a box of drafting supplies from the days where we used to do hand drafting, which, you know, I'm dating myself, but that's okay. All right, and then I showed you this one, which was hubby's anniversary card. And this one that was sent to me by Sandy. And the one that started it all, this card from about 1.5 years ago from Sharon Lim. So these ideas are going to be on my blog, pattystamps.com, July 22nd. If you're watching a replay, then you've probably already found them. But in case you're watching live or haven't looked for those yet, that's where you will find them. So I'm going to catch up on comments for a second. And if you have a question that I missed, I'm going to try to find that. Let's see. Thank you. I'm glad you like the tips. Thank you, Stacy. Thanks, Evelyn. I'm glad they were helpful. Oh, Louise, I'm glad you like it. Oh, Wendy says she needs dimensionals. Yeah, obviously I need to find my mini dimensionals. I don't know what happened to them. Oh, good, Christine. She likes the coloring the pot tip. I like it too. It just makes it look different instead of looking like two of the same. You can see where I've got them colored differently there as well. I liked that. I thought it was a fun little tip. Susan asks, is extra postage needed with foam sheets? So the foam sheets are the same thickness as dimensionals. So depending on how many you use, how many layers you have, if your card uses dimensionals and it's too thick and it would need extra postage, then it would hold true for this. But if you just use one layer, like I often will just pop up my die cut with foam sheets, no, then it does not need extra postage. It's the same thing as using a dimensional. Now on these, okay, just because you were asking, when this gets folded up, because look at the side here, I have all these layers of cardstock and I have double layers of those foam sheets, and then I have another layer up here. This one very well could take extra postage. I always just take, you know, like I've got it in my envelope, I've got it addressed, I've got my return address on there, and I take it in and they know me and I'll be like, could you please check this? And they know what I mean. And then they would tell me how much postage if it needed extra. But that's a great question. And I always say, take it to your post office and have them check if you're questioning it. Oh, thank you so much. I am just looking back through your comments. I'm so glad you enjoyed this fold and these ideas. Oh, Karen says she's sitting there cutting out the little houses. I am so glad. I bet you're going to have fun playing with that today. Yeah, the cobblestone does make it look like it has a little more dimension, doesn't it? It really looks like a little scene or a little street scene happening. I do like that as well. Any questions? Oh, yes. Lori says, repeat the dimensions of the white card base. Yes, let me grab the dimension. And like I said, this is all on my blog tomorrow, so don't worry if you have missed it. But you're basically starting with your 4 1/4 by 11, and then here are your 4 score marks. And if you want to do it like I did, where you score the whole sheet and then cut it in half, you've got 2 card bases ready to go. I use the thick basic white, Glenda. So anytime I'm using the white for a base like this, it's the thick basic white. If I am just die cutting something like this, or Tammy, my die cutting fairy, if she's die cutting for me, then it's regular because I don't feel like I need to spend the extra money or have the extra thickness on just a die cut. Good question. You're welcome, John. You're welcome, Lisa. Oh, good. Robin likes the cards made with that paper. You're welcome, Christine. I'm so glad you all enjoyed that. Well, I hope you all have a great weekend. And by the way, speaking of my hubby, next weekend is his 65th birthday. So next Friday, I will not be here for a live. I will be at his office. I am taking pizza to the guys for lunch to celebrate his birthday. And so you will not find me here for a live next Friday. I will just have a day off and go enjoy my husband and all of the friends and everyone that is at his office. So you won't find a live. And I might even just like have a day off and not even have a blog post. Can you even believe that? I mean, that's super rare for me. But yeah, so I just wanted to let you know, if you don't find me, don't panic. Oh, wouldn't that be fun? Mary Ann says, what about this layout with upcoming holiday or Halloween designer paper? Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be fun? That would be so fun. Yeah, Christine, I can put the dimensions up here again. That, like I said, they'll all be on my blog tomorrow, so no worries on writing it all down. You'll have it to pin or print or whatever you need to do. So there you go. Yes, happy birthday to Eric. I hope he has a great, great birthday. All right. Well, thank you again, everybody. I'm so happy that you joined me. I'll see you in 2 weeks for another live. Have a wonderful weekend. I hope you get some crafty time in to enjoy. And I hope you saw this Les Shops paper in sort of a new light. And if you need any of the supplies, they're all here on my blog today. You can click them and purchase anything in my online store if you don't have a demonstrator. All right, everybody, thanks again. See you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.